Oh, well, let me play you something I just found.
What?
You wanted to hear what Yoko said to John's question?
Okay, you got that?
Yeah, I got it over the phone, believe it or not. I could set this up for you in 2 seconds. Ready?
Okay, go ahead.
Is it fair that guys like John Lennon die while Scott Muni lives?
Do we have the next question, please?
Is it fair that guys like John Lennon die while Scott Muni lives?
Do we have the next question, please?
Well, I think Scott Mooney is a lovely person, and so are you all. And I think that I think that we have a place in the world, and also that we have each of us have a role to play. Thank you.
Right. Nice way to handle it. She's too funny. There it is.
That's pretty good. She had a good answer.
Yeah.
Everybody calm down.
She thought it was funny.
Yeah, she was a sad day for her, and she got a little laugh out of it.
You're talking about a woman who was whacked out of her mind on heroin with John Lennon. You're not talking to a head of state.
That's not Indira Gandhi you got
Yeah.
there.
Talking to a woman who hangs imaginary grapefruits from the ceiling and calls it art.
She had people pounding nails into a wall.
Yeah. It's a rich foreign groupie you're talking to. It is not the Pope. Can we all calm down with making everyone a deity?
Next question, please.
There's a guy, yeah, oh, next question, please, please. That's so irreverent. This is a woman who's irreverent. You know, it's funny. Gary was talking to some guy in the park at the Strawberry Fields thing. And this guy's going, well, Yoko, I'll show it to you later. Yoko, she was walking over there. And then she moved suddenly down there. And even her bodyguards. It was almost like he was talking about the Pope or Jesus and the apostles. The bodyguards being the apostles and the Pope and one or Jesus Pope Yoko running through the park and tracing her every move. And then she laughed to the crowd over there. I mean, come on.
It was great. It was really wonderful.
What a woman who spread her legs for John. Spread them for a married man. Wrecked the family.
She was married to somebody else. She was wrecking all kinds of families.
Yeah, and she never even saw her own daughter, Kyoko.
Wrote her in People magazine.
I know too much useless information. I know Yoko's daughter's name, Kyoko. I know tons of useless information. In fact, I was going to ask you a question this morning. I got to remember what it was. I was going to ask if you knew the name of one of the operators on one of those TV commercials. It's like Sports Illustrated. You know, so something weird like that.
Oh, well, I had a question for you. You remember, I gave you my question already.
Which was?
Marriott Hartley.
What was the question?
Was on Entertainment Tonight talking about her new book.
This is too funny. Because Robin said, did you see Entertainment Tonight? She said it to me during the commercial. I said, yeah, I saw it. First, it took me 5 minutes to remember that I saw it.
You had to run through the file.
Yeah, right. I had to run through my memory banks. And Marriott Hartley, you know, the one who used to do those commercials with James Garner?
Yeah, the Polaroid commercial.
The Polaroid commercial. Who you think is like, well, she looks like she's got it pretty together. She looks like everybody's mom, you know?
Yeah, she looked like she was happening with it.
She wrote a book, right? So she starts talking about how when she was on the morning show with Rollin Smith, I met Rollin. I could see why she bummed out. He's not the kind of guy you can party with.
That was pretty funny because they showed a picture of her and him together.
Yeah.
I thought that was funny.
That was pretty funny. So when she was doing the morning show, she says, well, she started to have an eating disorder. She was eating everything. All right, so you listen to this. Okay, she blew up a little bit. She's eating everything, including cat food. Now, you know, it is amazing to me what people are revealing about their lives. Oh, and then she says about the cat food, it wasn't so bad though. Don't cringe. It wasn't so bad because it wasn't the wet kind. It was the dry cat food.
Well, she didn't say it was the dry. She said it wasn't the wet kind. Like it would be better to be chomping down
on dry cat food.
On kibbles.
But a woman as wealthy as her, where does it come down that she has to eat cat food?
Purina cat chow she's chomping on.
And you're supposed to accept this behavior. Oh, yes, this is a sickness. This was a mental patient. I said, what is it? Kitty Dukakis.
She's a rich woman. She wasn't out of food.
No, I mean, eat a pie. Don't eat cat food. I mean, Kitty Dukakis was drinking nail polish remover. Yeah. These are very ill women. The two of them should throw a dinner party. A nail polish and kibbles party.
I suspect everything on the menu.
It's unbelievable what I'm hearing. People are so out of control. And these are the people, we hold up in some kind of light.
And she's writing a book to tell other people it's okay to be as crazy as you are, because look at how crazy I am.
Everyone's almost you sort of feel kind of out of it if you're normal.
Well, that's what I said to myself. I said, well, what kind of things could we reveal?
Nothing.
I mean, I've never eaten anything like that.
You've eaten some strange things, but not that.
But nothing anybody else hasn't eaten.
I've seen you rip through a bag of tweezers like there's no tomorrow.
I've had a weight problem.
Yeah.
But I never ate cat food.
Yeah, I know. It's pretty weird. It was pretty funny, too. Wish I had that interview.
Jackie, you've never drunk nail polish?
Don't speak for him.
I drank grain alcohol.
Did you?
Yeah.
All right. Don't even get into it.
Oh, never mind. He's one of them.
All right.
I forget who I'm talking.
Now, what else is in the news?
Israel.
Israel?
Yes. Well, the United States finds itself in a very weird position here, Howard, because now we find ourselves siding with the Iraqis in the UN.
Please. Listen, let me tell you something. Let me tell you about Israel, okay? Yeah, the Bush, who's a numero uno pussy face, is a really interesting guy. You know what I mean? I'll tell you about Israel. The only thing I like about Israel, and this is, quite frankly, to me, Israel's just a bunch of ugly sand that nobody wants.
With irrigation ditches.
Yeah. They put some good plumbing into the ugly sand. But I'll tell you one thing. There will be an atomic attack on this country one day, unless you got a country like Israel monitoring those Arabs and blowing up their nuclear, what do you call those? Nuclear test sites.
Whatever they call them.
Because we don't have the balls to blow anything up. We're not allowed to do it. So they can condemn Israel all they want. I condemn Israel all I want. But just as long as they're there to blow up the nuclear facilities.
Right, where they make the bombs.
Yeah, where they make the bombs. Let them do the dirty work.
Whatever you call that.
So Bush is a big pussy. He's looking at, you know what, it's almost like you're sort of in a standoff with a guy, and then all of a sudden you find some reason to sort of agree with him.
Yeah.
And sure you're not a bad guy. That's what this is all about.
Well, actually, it tells you that these censures and condemnations that are issued by the UN mean absolutely nothing.
Right.
Absolutely nothing.
Bush is upset because what did the Jews do anyway?
Well, remember the other day when I was telling you about Temple Mount, where the Arabs have a holy place and the Jews have a holy place?
Yeah.
And the Arabs came over there and started stoning the Jews, so the Jewish police opened fire on them?
Right.
Well, that's what everybody's in a hubbub about.
If it's a holy place, why would you stone anybody in the first place?
Yeah, I don't understand religion that has people killing each other.
Yeah, so, I mean, I don't understand religion that they claim that's the site where God flew up.
Well, no. Muhammad got on a horse with wings and went to heaven.
Okay.
And Abraham almost killed his son.
Personally, if I was the police, I would have just blown everyone away. Right then and there. I wouldn't have stopped.
How could you get to the point where you're throwing rocks at people because they want to build a temple? Maybe.
Yeah. So, and Bush, he's just a big jackass.
That we have to go to the UN about wacky people like that is amazing.
A flying horse. And where was the Easter Bunny during all of this?
He was with Santa.
While the Arabs were worried about the flying horse. That's the site of Santa Claus. Same thing. Hey, listen, I could care less. I give up.
It's ridiculous, but that's what we have to deal with. That's why we have to go to war. Also, a bunch of Americans will be coming home today. They're having another flight out of Iraq of Americans who are allowed to leave, so they'll be coming home.
How are they leaving Iraq? On a flying horse?
No, they're actually going to take a plane. They're not going to rely on a horse or a carpet.
Because we could send Jor-El over there, the visitor from another planet. Dare I say his name's Superman?
People of Earth.
We could send Yoko over there. That's who we could send. Yoko Ono, our secret emissary.
I haven't looked through the mail yet.
Oh, that's the wrong one. What the hell is my Yoko tape?
You just had it.
Ah, people of Earth. People of Earth.
People of Earth.
Thank you.
How are you?
Oh.
Yeah, I'm fine.
So those people will be coming home. Mostly those are just women and children who've decided, well, we can't get our husbands out and it's time for us to ditch this area. And the others are Palestinians or other Arabs who have American passports who have been allowed to leave.
Right.
They only want real Americans as shields. So that's what's happening over there. Also, do you realize how many people we've lost already and we haven't even had a war?
How many have we lost?
18 Americans have died
Really?
in the Middle East since this whole operation, whatever it's called, started. And mostly on training missions. You know, when we go out training each other, we collide helicopters. That happened a couple of days ago, and they still haven't found 8 people as a result of that. 2 people are known dead from that situation.
One guy died from eating cat food.
Oh, stop it. And a couple more people died today in some kind of a plane crash. They've lost 4 people already this week so far. As a result, 13 aircraft, 5 fighter jets we've lost, and
How did we lose 5 fighter jets?
well, while they're in training,
I see.
you know, you have accidents, and they said, you know, for the amount of training missions we're running, this is concomitant with what we should be having, you know, in terms of accidents. So I guess it's nothing to be alarmed about. I guess we just wouldn't hear about these accidents if it were happening
At
here.
home, yeah.
So anyway, this is what it's like when you're doing things like that. We have a couple of comments from the parents who have been informed that their sons have died in this Saving of the Gulf mission.
Would this be Gene Adams?
Yeah.
When I looked out the window, I saw the band and the 2 Marine soldiers getting out, so I knew then exactly what they were coming to tell me. And it wasn't going to be good news.
Man, imagine that. Well, that kind of blows.
And William Harley Sr., his
They're
son.
going to pay $5 per gallon of gas and have any young man or woman over there in this mess.
He's saying he'd rather see the gas prices go up. But, hey, we're over there. So anyway, that's the latest on the Middle East. We still haven't figured out how to get out of there yet or what we're doing there.
I can't find my way around the block.
And, of course, yesterday was the big tribute to John Lennon on his 50th birthday.
Yes. Oh, good, the official report now.
Yes. Lots of people showed up. They had the big ceremony at the UN. Could you play the official
Official what? The,
ceremony, you know, Yoko's statement and all?
Oh, yeah, you want
That's what
that?
everybody did.
Okay.
Let's do it like all the news shows did it.
Okay. Okay. I'm getting a little nervous.
I asked you to perform.
Hey, come on, huh?
A little performance pressure.
I was trying to sit back and relax a little. Thought you'd take over. All right, here we go. I will hit this button, and theoretically, the press conference should come on. It's racked up on reel 2. And it is labeled Yoko.
Hello, my name is Scott Muni, and welcome to Imagine.
Now, how come I heard Dave Herman there for a while?
They had to get every disc jockey on NEW.
Yeah, these guys, everybody was, they were fighting in the worst way to get their name associated with this. Phonies. Yeah, the real John Lennon fans.
Yeah, you wouldn't bring logo and bumper sticker and
Yeah.
painter's cap if it was just a funeral for a friend.
It's great to be at the UN remembering John Lennon, and they're there celebrating, you know, John's 50th birthday, and you see Scott Muni with a big NEW banner and handing out painters' caps.
Yeah. When he goes to a family funeral, does he bring all that stuff with him?
While I feel bad for John, one has to remember Ringo is sitting alone somewhere in a room trying not to drink. What about remembering the living?
I wonder what he ate
Yeah.
or drank.
Yeah.
He ought to tell us.
I had me cat food in my hand. I almost broke down.
He wants to wave to the United Nations for Scott Muni, Yoko Ono, and our John Lennon tribute.
Hello, my name is Scott Muni, and welcome.
Hello, people of Earth. Here he is, the big friend of Yoko. Big friend to all rock musicians. But if they go on some other station and try to get publicity,
If they try to have their own careers.
he bans their records. Dickhead. Why don't you tell Scott? Why don't you get up in front of the UN and tell people how you treated Bob Geldof when he was in town? You phony, fat slob.
Here's a guy who really doesn't understand irreverence.
Yeah. Yeah. Here's a guy who really is a friend to rock musicians. Phony.
He's really into what rock and roll is all about.
All the phonies in this industry. It just makes me sick. This guy is such a fake. Sitting up there masquerading like he cares about somebody's life. He's too miserable to care about anybody's life.
To imagine all the people. You are about to be part of the largest broadcast event in history.
And I'm the host. Wow.
Oh, man, I'm being heard around the world right now.
Wow. Maybe my career isn't meaningless. Just because Westinghouse doesn't want to give me any money. It's because I'm totally fed up with working here. Talk about the unhappy. Who's the unhappiest man working for Westinghouse Broadcasting right now? You're listening to him. Gee, Scott, as cool as you are, you get to be friends with Yoko? Too bad they won't pay you, huh?
That is payment.
Yeah. Stop coming over here looking for jobs every 3 minutes.
As miserable as Jackie is, Scott Muni's work.
Yeah, oh, yeah. Scott Muni could be Jackie's mentor. What a universal bore, though, this guy is. Let me tell you something. This guy is a universal bore. And I'll tell you this. Hey, Scott, you'll never work here as long as I do. I'm not allowing it. So you're stuck with Westinghouse. Big corporations never understand the artist, do they? They never understand why somebody should be paid money, do they? Keep dreaming about making some money. Yeah. What's to say here about Paul trying to get Linda to move to the Dakota?
I'm speaking to you from the United Nations building in New York City.
Phony.
In just a few moments, Yoko Ono Lennon will step up to a podium and deliver a brief message in honor of John Lennon's 50th birthday. That message...
He has to explain what's going to happen.
We wouldn't be able to figure it out.
Yeah, we need him. We need the great interpreter. Old man.
Well, she does have an accent. Some people won't get it.
Oh, yeah. It's true. I guess you kind of do need someone to explain what she's saying. I apologize.
And John's song, Imagine, will be heard simultaneously on over 1,000 radio stations.
Wow.
In more than 130 countries. We estimate that more than 1 billion people will share in this global media event.
God, he's so conversational. You would think we were at church, the way he's reading.
The amazing thing is he had to write this down.
Yeah. And this will be, you would think that this was... Simultaneously. What an ad-libber. Boy, this is real rock and roll, let me tell you. Let me tell you. This is some wild celebration. And then Yoko gets up, people of Earth. She thinks she just landed from a spaceship.
Well, and we're supposed to be commemorating John's life and taking it away from his death, so why is this woman crying?
It's difficult to describe the mood in the room now.
Because it's difficult for you to describe anything on radio because you're such a poor communicator. Listening to you do an interview is unbearable. Why don't you chain smoke 14 more cartons of cigarettes? Listen to that voice. Is he a smoker?
I have no idea.
Have gathered here to be part of this extraordinary occasion.
Get more nodes removed from those vocal cords. It's hard to describe the mood in the room. Try the word stoned. Probably half of the people in there were completely juiced out of their minds. Listening to this boring display.
Does anybody know what I'm saying?
Can anybody follow this? You think I'm having a hard time? Wait to hear Yoko. Boy, words escape her.
We have celebrities.
It's just a guy who just, I know, is a big phony. Who doesn't have a bit of compassion in his heart for any artist. I know it. I've seen his actions. I just hate phoniness. It's hard to describe the mood in the room. It's hard to describe anything when you have Alzheimer's. Problem with him is he doesn't have Alzheimer's, so what's his excuse?
United Nations diplomats and delegates, friends of John and Yoko, special guests, and of course, many of John's fans as well.
Yeah, okay.
All of us are here because of the words used.
You're here because you smell a place to hand out your painter's hats.
Publicity.
Publicity. If it was Bob Geldof trying to get his career back on the mark after he helped thousands of dying people, never mind John Lennon. Talking about people who didn't have any songwriting talent who were all dying. Him you don't have any compassion for, you phony baloney. What a jerk. What a phony. Tell everybody your Bob Geldof story, Scott. You feel good about that? Liar. Be ashamed. You should be home, retired, listening to yourself wheeze. Like a big bear. He's sort of proud, like he's been on the radio longer than anyone, Scott Muni. What's to be proud of? You haven't gotten a raise. You're making no money. You're like the radio columnist at the newspaper. You haven't elevated yourself.
A guy who never got promoted.
I mean, if you're so good, why haven't you sort of parlayed everything? Everybody who started with him in radio has either been, even Cousin Brucey, who started in radio with him, he's been a radio station owner, TV station owner. I mean, you got to hand it to Cousin Brucey. He's sort of.
I'm fearful that Cousin Brucey is rich.
Yeah, and with good reason. He is. He is rich. I mean, everyone sort of got on that entrepreneurial bent and made something of themselves. Scott's still waiting for someone like a Westinghouse to hand him some money. That's better than an old disc jockey. Driving a train that doesn't move. You know?
I bet he got all dressed up for this, too.
Oh, yeah. Hey, John, what was he wearing? I'm wearing a tuxedo.
I'm wearing my best suit, my one suit.
I'll get John in here in a minute. Where is John? What was he wearing?
He was in a suit and tie and stuff. All dressed up.
What was Yoko wearing? A witch's costume?
You saw what she was wearing.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, when she was
She
walking
just had
on
on
Strawberry
one of those black
Fields.
suits.
When she was walking on Strawberry Fields, that was the same outfit?
Yeah.
Sort of those jogging tights?
Yeah, just like a... She was casual.
She could have wore her best geisha outfit. You know, it just amazes me how phony everyone is. All these guys who really don't care about John Lennon at all. John was a guy who was a good songwriter. An incredibly prolific songwriter.
Oh, no, he's a man of love.
Yeah, okay.
A man of love and a man of peace.
Right. That too. Man of piece of ass, he had more than anybody.
It depends on what kind of peace you're talking about.
Why don't you bring Steve Rossi in, Gary, so he doesn't feel like we're blowing him off. But he is late.
Oh, he is?
He's supposed to be here at 9, and I know I can't do a late show today.
Well, we better get through. We can't get through the Yoko tape.
Yeah, we're still in the Yoko tape. Hey, Steve. How are you, pal?
The Legend's back.
Legend's looking a little arthritic and fat too.
No, not fat. What are you talking about?
Why did you gain?
I'm only 175 pounds.
It's pretty funny. I started to leave during the
Hi,
last
Robin.
commercial
Nice to
break
see you.
and go to the
Put
bathroom.
on your headphones, Steve. Steve, Robin is talking. Put on your headphones. You're just talking over everybody.
I was going to go to the bathroom and I caught a reflection of a straw hat.
Yeah.
You know, bouncing on something. And I said, "What was that?" And I looked, and there was this big yellow blimp standing in the office. I said, "Oh, I can't even go to the bathroom now."
I was going to follow you.
Unbelievable. Of course, the great Steve Rossi is part of that incredible comedy team, the Alan and Rossi comedy team, which everyone loves.
Living legends of comedy.
I would have loved to have been in the room when Alan turned to Rossi and said, my name's coming first, and if you don't like it, we can just split up the act right now, because you know that's the way it went down. You know that's the way it went down. There's no doubt in my mind.
They've always gotten along so well.
Yeah, that's been a real good marriage. The only reason they're back together again, Marty finally realized he's nothing as a solo act. Finally woke up. Only took him his wife Frenchie. Go leave Steve. Yeah, we saw a lot of him.
Finally realized he should have left Frenchie.
Yeah.
The legend saved this act, believe me when I tell you. Or was it Katie?
We're in the middle of the press conference here, but then we'll obviously get to all the Steve Rossi stories, which
The
we love.
news with Steve Rossi.
Right, but so anyway, we were at the press conference. Where were we? We didn't get to Yoko yet.
No, Scott's still talking.
Right.
Special guests, and of course, many of John's fans as well. All of us are here because of the words, music, and dream of John Lennon. We've gathered to remember and celebrate a man whose songs...
Is he for real? Is anybody buying this?
I feel like I'm at a funeral.
Yeah, I mean, you know.
Yes.
Even Steve is sickened by it.
Oh, my God. Get me a sandwich.
Steve, this is how you sound at my funeral, I'm sure.
Yeah, that fake sincerity.
Yeah, right. He was
poor Howard. He was such a good man.
We're all gathered together here because of the words, the music, and the dream.
And basically, we're here to make sure he's not alive.
Steve's back with that special brand of humor.
You know, his jokes are nothing without Marty. You gotta say.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Maybe Marty doesn't need you.
Oh, Robin doesn't need Howard, huh? She's so jealous of me. I've always hated her anyhow.
You really put on some kind of weight.
No, I haven't. It's just yellow.
Wow,
Makes you look
Steve.
heavier.
Then why are you wearing a tent?
You want me to stand up?
Stand up and pull up your shirt.
Okay. Now, what do you... Does that look like I put on a lot of weight?
Yes.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Then why are you looking below the belt? Sure, that's where I put the weight on.
It resonates in our hearts.
Resonates.
Wherever you are listening.
You are listening.
I can't stand it.
Welcome. Ladies and gentlemen, here to introduce Yoko Ono.
Introduce. Here to introduce.
You know he's reading it.
Yeah, Mr. Rock and Roll. The Rock and Roll Authority. There isn't a person in rock who can stand to be in this man's presence. Would you want to party with him if you were Billy Idol?
Mrs. Marcella Perez de Cuellar.
Why do you think Guns N' Roses and Sebastian Bach are calling me on the phone? Not him. Mrs. who?
Marcella Perez de Cuellar.
Cuellar.
Did you and Marty used to do an act?
I
Mrs.
think she
Perez?
would sing
yeah.
to Marty.
It was Marty's wife.
This is to Mrs. de Cuellar.
Mrs. Zorro is her real name. She can't tell you that, though, because her secret identity. All right, let's skip over Mrs. de Cuellar.
Yes, please.
Because I'll give you a little taste. It's...
Dear Yoko, welcome to this house of peace.
Who is she? Who is this one?
Javier Perez de Cuellar's wife.
Dear Yoko, welcome to this house of peace.
Of peace. Well, let's have some.
Steve, you got to just calm down.
Okay.
Just get into the spirit of it, okay? I'll go right to Yoko.
Please.
Yeah. Steve's his heavily perfumed self again. God.
That's why I wouldn't go out there. I didn't want to be hugged.
Steve, I'm not shaking your hand. What is that watch you're wearing? Let me see that.
It's
It's like Bob Hope's billboards.
So I need
his
a bigger
cue
watch.
card.
It's like a Bob Hope cue card on his wrist.
This is how I get women.
That's how you get women with your big watch?
It's got the
Chuck Woolery,
little red
his
lights
mouth
going.
waters at the side of that watch.
Oh, it's got a light show on it.
It's got a light show.
Who'd you glom that yellow shirt off of?
A friend of mine gave it to me.
Yeah, it's his juice on it.
Mr. Trump gave it to me.
Pop, juice, and... What does it say? Take
It's all
it?
the stuff that I drink.
He's like a tennis player. He walks around with the billboards.
Him has brought you here.
No.
The war is waiting for your message, Yono.
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 Message Yono.
Yeah, they know each other.
Oh, wait a second. That was a stroke of luck I just heard.
Waiting for your message, Yono. Go and for him.
Yono Ono. The world is...
Yonoco.
Yonoco. That's a new corporation that Steve formed. Him and Dr. Perino. They purchased land in Old Brookville.
I love these really formal ceremonies where
Look at
people
Dr.
get together for God knows what reason, and they really don't know each other.
Right.
Him has brought you here. The war is waiting for your message, Yono. Go and for his.
Yonoco. The war is waiting.
The war's over. She can get parts for her head. Oh, God, the legend's back.
People of Earth, how are you?
People of Earth, how are you?
Okay.
Yeah, like we're some kind of dweebs. We've been relegated to to stay on this planet while Yoko does interplanetary travel.
Yeah, where'd she just fly in from?
Yeah, beautiful, huh?
She just came from Uranus. People
Yeah.
of Earth, I bring you greetings.
She just flew in from Uranus.
Uranus are mine.
Everybody answer at once, you know? People of Earth, how are you? We're fine. Thank you, Yoko, for dropping down off the planet.
Interpreter.
How's life been for you?
Fine.
Wait
Fine.
a minute, I just got it. She's speaking for John.
Oh, you
She's
think
like
so?
a medium at this point.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah?
And she's John, people of Earth.
He's below.
People of Earth,
How are you?
how are you? How are you? How are you feeling? I hope you are fine. This is John Lennon speaking to you through Yoko.
Under Earth.
Please, do not leave your seats. We come in peace. Remember, do not leave your seats. We come in peace, Yoko and myself. Thank you. People of Earth, I now return you to your television sets.
You're funny.
Please do not leave.
Okay.
Look, it's Godzilla.
And that has to be what it is. I mean, people of Earth.
This is John speaking to you through Yoko's body. I ask you not to leave your seats. No one need be alarmed. We come in peace.
For a moment, John was with us.
Wow.
Oh, they should be like, oh, wait a second. Was John here? This is John. Yoko is not aware that I am in her body. She has no awareness at this time. Do not inform Yoko that I am in her body because the stress will kill her. I repeat, do not leave your seats and do not inform Yoko.
Yoko is loco.
Yoko is loco. I repeat, Yoko is loco. Do not leave your seat.
Oh, good.
This is John Lennon. Thank you. And tell Scott Muni to get off the stage. Thank you.
It was like that Whoopi Goldberg scene
Yeah.
in Ghost.
Yeah. People of Earth.
Wow. What nerve.
What nerve.
How are you?
Howard can't believe this. He's got
I can't believe my good fortune. I've got Scott Muni and Yoko on tape. This could go on for months.
People of Earth.
People of Earth. People of Earth, this is John. So you think she's speaking for John?
Yes, I mean, he sounds like a person who hasn't been in a human body
Right.
in a long time, doesn't it? People of Earth, how are you?
People of Earth, although I am dead, I can come to you through Yoko's body. This is John Lennon. Do not be concerned. By the way, how is Steve Rossi? Is that broad still in his act? Katie? Thank you.
He's insulting the legend. I can't believe this.
Please do not forget that Ringo sits in his room alone, staring at empty whiskey bottles.
Maybe we should have a little celebration for him.
That's right.
Do not think of me today, think of Ringo.
We want to hold his hand.
People of Earth, I am communicating to you through Yoko today at the United Nations. I have not revealed myself to you before this because I did not feel the people of Earth were ready. And now I have an announcement to make. Paul is a woman. Remain in your seats. Anyone who leaves will be under interplanetary discipline.
Interpol.
We'll have to.
You don't understand, do you?
We'll have to report to interplanetary detention.
Exactly.
How are you? How's life been for you?
See, it's John.
People of Earth, I miss you. I want to throw up with Harry Nilsson again. I miss Earth.
Anybody got a Kotex?
Yeah. I miss taking a Kotex and smoking hash.
It will get easier and easier for us. Today would have been the 50th birthday of my husband, John Lennon.
See, now it's Yoko.
Now it's Yoko. You think it was originally John.
John just
And now
popped
she's
in there.
returned.
Yes, she
said
didn't
my-
even know he was there.
She said, my husband, Joan Lennon.
Yeah. For $75, you can meet with Yoko after this conference, where you will have a personal meeting with John Lennon. And you will be able to purchase John Lennon coffee mugs.
And his phone directory.
Steve, don't chime in. I am fine. I am here beyond your planet. As I speak, Brian Epstein is servicing me in heaven. This is my message of peace. Piece of miserable ass like Brian Epstein.
Someday he'll eat those
His
words.
spirit still lives in all of us.
especially
Lives
you.
have been touched by him. I would like us to remember and celebrate his birthday as a day of love, because he was a man of love, and because love is much needed at this time in our lives.
Love is always needed in our lives.
Well, that's this time, Howard. We didn't need it yesterday.
Yeah.
We sure do need it now.
I think Yoko is referring to the Iraqi situation and the world, the global, the thermal warming of the globe.
Well, you know what I'm listening for now, to see if John pops back in at any time.
He will. And if he doesn't, I'll take care of that.
We are at the threshold of the 21st century. Our dreams and aspirations are coming true in a big way in so many directions.
Yeah, especially if you have all that John Lennon merchandising.
Yeah, her dreams have all
Yeah, her dreams have come true beyond anybody's wildest expectations. If only I was married to someone who dropped dead, and then I had all the merchandising rights. Mama Lucian.
She's now a Beatle.
Oh, she is a
She
Beatle.
inherited a Beatle position.
She's better than a Beatle, Robin.
Lady Beatle.
She don't have the pressure of performing.
Still, life continues to be difficult for most of us.
Really?
Some
Tell
of
me.
us.
Yeah, I can't imagine why.
For you little people of
Yeah.
Earth.
Why is it so difficult for you? Just why don't you camp out on some Beatles doorstep, whether he's married or not, and, get down with him. Life will be good for you, too. Yeah, life continues to be difficult for you jerks.
You idiots.
You people of Earth.
Remember,
Walking in the
boys
sand.
over if you want it.
What? Wait
What
a
did she
second.
say? Wait a minute.
Steve, there was advice here, and something that you could use in your next
And you're
negotiation
talking
with
over it.
Marty.
But remember, war is over if you want it. They say that the darkest
What did my wife just say?
hour is just before the dawn.
Wait a minute.
That's the Crosby, Stills and Nash song.
Yeah, I was going to say she's quoting other artists now.
Yeah. Hey, stick to John, all right? The darkest hour is just before the dawn? Isn't that Crosby, Stills and Nash? Is it Wooden Ships or Darkest? What song am I thinking of?
Was it done? I know what you're talking about. What song is it?
Ruby-throated canary.
Sweet Judy Blue Eyes.
Sweet Judy Blue Eyes.
Judy Blue Eyes, yeah.
We face the dawning of the age of wisdom.
No, that's hair.
Through the
But you gotta-
lingering
Yeah, that was hair.
Aquarius.
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 What the hell did John write?
Da 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 da.
She's not quoting any of his stuff.
Scott Muni ripped off his clothes at that point, pranced around the stage naked.
Just in keeping with the spirit.
Is this the nude scene? I love it. I love this business.
reach of wisdom through the lingering darkness. In celebration of John's life, let's use our power of dreaming. Let's dream of trees growing in abundance, birds flying in clear air.
In who?
Clear in air.
Clear in air.
Sounds like Steve drunk on stage at the Atlantic Hotel. Sands,
Clear in
the Sands
air.
Hotel in Atlantic City.
I love this. Clear in air.
Fish swimming in clear water, and our children living in joy. Let's dream of men and women.
She sounds like my Cuban cousin, Julie. She makes sense, Julie. She get that accent, you know. It's just too funny. I can't take it anymore. Let's take a break and do the rest of the news.
Okay.
And sort of rap to Steve about his miserable career.
That's insulting to
and all the hookers he's been having in Atlantic City.
Well, that's true.
Wouldn't it have been great if, like, all of a sudden they were supposed to play Imagine, and by accident a Steve Rossi song came on? You know.
Would have made my day.
Yeah.
I'll make your day, Robert.
If Steve ever goes, which has to be any day, the way his weight is ballooned.
I don't understand how he can make these remarks.
I can't see all those people standing around.
Everybody thinks I lost a lot of weight. He's calling me a yellow blimp.
See people in the Central Park just singing this song.
People don't want to hear good music, good singing, great entertainment anymore. They'd rather listen to this. To Yoko.
When we return...